What is up, course heroes? Welcome to yet another video. This is your boy Amit, and today I am super pumped, excited to show you how to build a piece of software from scratch without writing a single line of code. So let's get started. This was the inspiration for this project. I wanted to post something in my Facebook group, but also stand out. So I figured I'd design this in Canva and then copy and paste this image in my Facebook group as a post. And then that got me thinking, why don't I create something simple that anyone can use? They can add their text, it's got a good gradient background, and people can then screenshot that and post it in their own Facebook groups. Because if this is a need for me, I'm sure someone else can use it as well. So that's what we're going to build today. Now, to build this, you're going to go to bolt.new. I'm already in here. If you're new here, just create an account. Once you create an account, you will be asked for a subscription plan. I am on the $20 a month subscription plan. These are the different subscription plans that they have. Based on which plan you choose, you're going to get a set number of tokens, and the more you chat with your bot, the more tokens are going to get utilized. I would say start with the cheapest plan first, and then once you are ready, let's say you're burning through a lot of tokens, you can either buy a one-time token reload, or you can upgrade your tokens, or just upgrade the subscription plan, I mean. So go check out bolt.new. I'll put that link in the description below. You can use that. Check it out. So right now I have 3.2 million tokens left. These do get eaten up pretty fast. So just know that in the beginning, when you are starting out with Bolt, there's going to be trial and error. So what I'm going to show you today is how to do the trial and error piece somewhere else in another playground, and then bring all of that into Bolt already flushed out so that you don't burn up a lot of tokens. So my app concept is pretty simple. I want a clean user interface where someone goes in and they type a message. I'm going to keep it under 280 characters because that's the length of a tweet. So I want about that length because I don't want these long paragraphs written and then screenshotted, because that wouldn't make sense. I want small paragraphs, small pieces of text that can be given a gradient background and then allow people to screenshot it. So to start there, what I want to do is start a new chat with ChatGPT first, explain this concept, get the set of requirements, and then put those inside of bolt.new. So I'm going to head over to my ChatGPT account. Okay, so we are inside ChatGPT. I'm going to go and write out my prompt. All right, so here is my prompt to ChatGPT. It says, assume the role of a developer at apple.com. Apple is known for its aesthetics. Its products are sleek, clean, and I'm thinking something like the Clean Notes app. And I've seen a lot of people write something on a note app, take a screenshot, and then post it on their socials. So I want to keep that kind of aesthetic. And now write a set of requirements for me based on that, based on my web app ideas. And then here are my directions. I would like a web app that allows users to write 280 characters worth of text. This text then gets added to a gradient background. Then users can press a copy to clipboard button, which will allow them to copy the text along with the gradient background. They will then paste this copied image on their favorite social media platform, give this product a catchy name. It'll be free to use and users never have to register on the site to use it. So these are a set of requirements, but they're not fully flushed out. Now what I want is ChatGPT to give me the full flushed out requirements based on what I've just said. So now it should go and start writing those requirements. And this is what I will take as a shell and put it in bolt.new so I don't have to burn my credits. All right, so now I don't know if you have noticed this on the pro version. From time to time, I get this response 1 and response 2 option from ChatGPT. In this case, it looks like the second response seems a little bit better and clearer to read, where it has the character limit. See, the chatbot has also added a live character count, which is not something that I specified. So that's something really cool, right? It's taking my requirements and enhancing it on its own. Then we can have default gradients, we can provide custom gradients, and then we also have some text styling, color, alignment, size. This all makes sense to me. And we'll see how far we can get using this. So I'm going to say I prefer this response. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take all of this and head over to bolt.new, where we're going to paste this response and see how far we can get with our web app before we burn those 3 million-ish tokens that we have left in there. So when you're in bolt.new, you're just going to go in here and type what you're looking for and just press the button. Bolt is going to go do its thing and start creating this web app. It's going to do most of the stuff. And what I have found is if you do this step ahead of time, like we did in ChatGPT, that saves a lot of back and forth with Bolt, and it allows it to understand the concept of your web app or your Chrome extension or your iOS app or your Android app. Just know that the more information you give it, the less tokens you're going to burn. Now, as you can see, Bolt has gone off on its own and started building this thing. It's installing some libraries here. It's just going and doing its thing. I have no clue what kind of code language this is. Maybe it's Python. I have no clue. But the best part is I don't need to know. On the left side here, Bolt is going to tell me what I need to do next if it gets stuck somewhere. So we're going to let Bolt do its thing. While it's doing it, I'll show you one of the apps that I created using Bolt. So this is the one I created. I would go to Canva, and within Canva, I would create custom birthday cards for my kids' friends whenever it was their birthday. I would find an image that had my child and that friend in it to create this birthday card image. So I just, instead of doing 20 to 25 clicks in Canva, I decided I want to test out Bolt and create a birthday card maker. So I did that, and I'll show you a demo of that while Bolt is writing our code for the new web app that we just gave it. All right, so what I'm going to do is take this random image from Pexels and upload that to my magic birthday card creator. Now, as soon as I hit the open button on this image, what the software is going to do is it's going to automatically remove the background. So here it is. So the background has been automatically removed. And now what I can do is I can choose a theme for this birthday card. Whether it's neutral, boys, girls, I can choose up to 5 selections. So I can go to, let's say, rainbows and unicorns, and then let's pick one, let's say dinosaur and bluey. So we have 3 options selected, and now I'm going to generate the background. So all of this was built with bolt.new. I did have some integrations that I did with OpenAI, with stability, with removal.bg, and that was super easy to do. I cover all of that in my AI membership, for which I'll drop the link in the description below. So check this out. Our birthday card is ready. Now, because we made these 3 options, which was bluey, dinosaurs, and unicorns, I can also generate a birthday message, and that birthday message will get superimposed on top of this card. And it's taking into account those options that we made. Hop on a rainbow ride to birthday magic land, or you can also go in here and type your own custom birthday message. So this saved me about 10 to 12 clicks for my custom birthday cards, and now I can just download it, print it, and be on my merry way. So this was a super cool, fun project that I was able to completely build with bolt.new, zero code, just copy pasting things, writing prompts, playing with prompts, trial and error. And that's how I learned that I don't want to burn all my tokens while I'm flushing out the requirements. So that's a huge lesson learned and should save you millions of tokens. So now that I've showed you how this works, let's head back over to bolt.new. Okay, so our gradient gram looks ready. It looks very not modern. I don't know what's the right word to use, but let's just see if it works before we make changes, right? So I want to enter my text here. Let's go back and get our text from Canva, and we will add that same text here. And here's my gradient background post. Now you can see there are a few things here that I want to change. First, I'm going to play with all of this before I change it. So we have the text size. We can control that. And the higher we go, the bigger the text. Then we have the font family that's already automatically added. So I don't know if it's actually going to do anything. So once I select the font family, nothing's happening, but that might be something that we need to continue to flush out. Let's see if the text color, okay, perfect. The text color changes. So that's good. And then text alignment, right, left, center, perfect. And let's just do this square, portrait, or landscape. We're going to do square. I don't know if that actually did anything. And then background gradient, we have these different gradients to choose. So let's just pick this one and copy to clipboard. Now, what I'm going to do is go into Canva and paste this, and you can see this is how it gets pasted. So it gets pasted as an image that is resizable. So we are already able to create a piece of software with just a single prompt. That in itself is just mind blowing. But we want to make some changes, right? This doesn't really look that good. The UI is very old looking. So I want to give those prompts now directly inside of Bolt to see how far we can get. So here's my follow-up command to Bolt. I'm saying the UI looks very outdated. Make the UI more modern looking. Also use a 2-column layout if possible, where the controls are in one column and the output in another. The output should be in a 19.6 ratio for social media. Now Bolt's gonna go work its magic, do the thing, and update its code. After it updates the code, we're gonna go back into the preview and see how it did. A cool thing about this is that you can also learn to code, because you can look at each of these code files if you have the time, understand how it's being written, manually make changes to it, and that will help you learn how to code. So I'm going to pause the video, see how Bolt does, let it finish its magic, and come back, show you what that new iteration of the product looks like. Okay, we are back. Now you will see there is an error message here. So what we need to do is figure out what this error message is. I can't figure it out. So what I'm going to do is simply copy the error message and paste it in our chat and say, hey, I'm getting this error message, can you help? And then I've pasted the error message after I typed, I'm getting this error message, can you help? Bolt's gonna go make some more updates and then come back, and then hopefully we can continue to test out the product. So you can see it is making real-time updates on the code based on our feedback. It's looking at the errors, it's trying to fix the errors, and now it's showing us the preview window again. Now sometimes your preview window will look like this, where it's just a blank screen. Give it a few seconds for it to load. If you've waited 10, 15, 20, 30 seconds and the preview window is still not loading, then I like to go back and say, hey, the preview window is not loading, can you help? The layout still looks very dated. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go back to ChatGPT and ask it to create a sleek UI for this product and see what we can get. So my prompt to ChatGPT is create a sleek looking UI for this web app, and ChatGPT should be able to create an image that is a UI, also known as a user interface, and then we can feed that to bolt.new and have that as a guide so that bolt.new understands what we are talking about. So instead of creating the UI, it's giving us the step-by-step directions on creating it. I'm going to tweak my prompt a bit and see if I can have ChatGPT generate an image for me instead. So the prompt is generate the UI image for me. Let's give it that. And now ChatGPT is going to attempt to generate the UI image for me, which I'll then feed to Bolt. So here's the image I got from ChatGPT. This definitely looks way better. I mean, obviously the text isn't legible, but I like this UI. It's kind of Canva-like. So what I'm going to do is copy this image and paste it in Bolt, and now tell Bolt, hey, this is the user interface that I am looking for. So I've given Bolt my command. This is the user interface I'm looking for. Now it should be able to read that image, understand what I'm saying, update my code, and hopefully make this user interface a little bit better. It looks really clunky right now. So now it seems to be understanding my command. It says, I'll help you implement the modern UI design shown in the image. First, let's add the necessary UI components and update the styling. So it's doing that. It's updating the styling. Again, I'm not a coder, so I don't understand any of this. However, after going through and supposedly doing all that, I still have the exact same UI. So I'm going to refresh this and see if it does anything. No, it didn't change at all. So what I'm saying is the user interface still looks the same. Can you try again? So it's going through that prompt cycle again. It says, let me help you create a more modern UI by first adding the necessary dependencies and then updating the components. So now we wait again, let it do its thing. And this is where a little bit of programming knowledge or coding knowledge is helpful, because you can actually go in and make those changes yourself. I'm not a coder, so I'm just going to rely on this tool to give me those results. The flip side of that is you're going to burn some tokens, because you're also learning, you're iterating, you're constantly giving Bolt your directions, and each time you type in a prompt, it does a set of tasks. It's going to eat up those tokens. All right, so it's still not doing it, but it's totally fine because I have another idea. Now, we had given Bolt a huge set of instructions to start with, right? What I want to try as a final Hail Mary is starting the project in Bolt with minimal instructions and continuing to refine it right within Bolt to see how far we can get. So for that, what I'm going to do is start a new chat. And in this new chat, I'm going to explain the concept again, but this time I'm going to explain it right in bolt.com. So this is the same prompt that I had written inside of ChatGPT. Now I'm going to write that in Bolt. It says, assume the role of a developer at apple.com and now write a set of requirements for me based on my web app idea. Here's the idea, and let's see what happens. Bolt is going through the project requirements, understanding what I'm asking, figuring out the user interface, figuring out considerations. It should now start writing the code. Before it starts writing the code, it says, would you like me to proceed with implementing this application based on this requirements? So at this point, obviously it is important to read these requirements, make sure it makes sense. For me, I'm going to say, yes, let's go ahead and build it. Now we are going to go back to our familiar screen where Bolt is going to start creating these code files. It's going to start installing Python or whichever language it's going to build this in. And we will continue to see this back-end code till our app is ready for testing. Let's see if typing it directly inside of bolt.com gives us a better user experience versus that super old user experience that we got from copy pasting the requirements from ChatGPT. Wow, a world of a difference. So I'm already liking this way better than the previous version, and this is where the playground comes in. I encourage you to go and play inside of Bolt and don't give up on the first chat if you don't get the result that you're looking for. So let's again type something that I would like to copy and paste into my Facebook group. Okay, here's our different gradient options. I love it. And then here's our text, and I also have copy to clipboard. So a few things I want to tweak here is give the users an ability to increase their font size, and then also give them the ability to resize this based on the social media platform that they are going to paste this in. And the few that I want to choose is Twitter, X, Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. So I'm going to give those sets of commands to Bolt and see what we come up with. All right, so here's my updated prompt. Let's make a few adjustments. Give users the ability to increase the font size. Give users the ability to resize the design for 4 social media platforms, i.e. X, Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest. Let's see if we can get further onto this by giving it these requirements. Perfect. We have incorporated those changes. Let's see what we can do now. So I'm going to again type in the same text, and after typing the text you can see already that I am able to have a bigger size font, and I can control the size of the font right here. From here I can just copy to clipboard. Now when I press that copy to clipboard button, you can see there was a potential problem detected here. So what you can do is expand this, and it says failed to copy to clipboard was the problem. Then I'm going to ask Bolt to go ahead and try to fix that problem. Bolt's going to go back into the code, try to figure out where that problem is, and then try to solve it for you so you don't have to do anything other than sip your coffee. So let's sip some coffee and wait for Bolt to fix that. I'm actually going to sip some water. Now this is where the important part comes in of you being able to test all of this before you can launch it to your customers. So let's again paste our text, make sure it shows up here, make it bigger, and let's resize it for Facebook. And you can see when I'm resizing it, the dimensions here change. I don't see the design box actually reacting to those dimension changes. So hopefully it is doing it. I have no clue. But now let's see if that copy to clipboard button works. Perfect. It says copy to clipboard. Now what I'm going to do is go back to Canva and paste it. Okay. So now it pastes and looks way better. I love this. And now I can start sharing this inside my social media network. Well, I do see that I want to make another change. Maybe I want to add a toggle to apply border and shadow, or not apply border and shadow. So let's give that new command to our software here. So what's cool is as you start playing along, as you start using the software, you will see, oh, you know what? It would be great if it could do this. So it's like having your developer where you can flush out all the requirements and then have it build it for you, all for like what, 20 bucks a month, which is insane. So let's give it these new commands. All right, here's my follow-up command. Looks great. Few more things to note. When I select the different platforms, I would like the image to resize to match those dimensions, which is essentially this viewport that I'm talking about. Hopefully AI understands that. Second one is I would like to have 2 toggle switches, i.e. one for applying shadow when copying the image, and second for applying a border. If border toggle is on, then allow users to pick border color or allow them to apply gradient border. I don't know if this is going to work, but it's worth a try. It's not like I'm paying my developer extra money. This is all in the playground, all on the monthly subscription fee. So I am willing to burn those extra tokens to see how far I can push the boundaries of this software creation using Bolt. So when we first started this, we were about at 3.2 million tokens. We are now sitting at 2.8 million tokens. So we have burned roughly 400,000 tokens trying to create this piece of software. So just keep that in mind as you start playing around with Bolt. You're going to burn through your tokens. Don't go crazy looking at them. You want to see the end result and not how many tokens you're burning, because if you're happy with the end result, that's really what matters. Okay, now it's looking a little bit different. Let's see. The resizing is still not working, but that's not that important to me. Again, I'm going to write the same thing here. Okay, let's apply a different gradient this time, and let's drop shadow to a border. Ooh, nice. So when they toggle the border, there's a new option here, whether they want solid or gradient border. You can see that this option is a little glitchy where I don't see the text. So I want to tell Bolt that the text needs to be black in color in this drop down. So as soon as I selected gradient, there was a problem. There's a bunch of problems. So I'm just going to ask Bolt again to fix these problems. All right, Bolt is saying that now these changes should be resolved. So let's give it another shot. Let's pick that new gradient, and instead of trying both of these toggles at the same time, I'm going to try the border one first. Okay, so now supposedly we have the gradient border. I don't know exactly how it's going to work, but looks like it's working. It's picking the different gradients, but it's also changing the gradient background. So I'm just going to go to solid, and let's just give our border a black color. And I'm going to say, you know what, remove the style option, only allows solid borders, not gradient borders, and then leave the border color. So let's copy this to clipboard, go to Canva, paste it. Awesome. So that piece works. Now, before I give that final command, let's also test out the drop shadow. The drop shadow we won't be able to see here, but when I copy and paste this, I should be able to see the drop shadow. I'm not really seeing a drop shadow when I paste it. Not a big deal, but let's try to fix it anyways. So I'm going to go and update my command and then show you what I have given the command before I send it. So my updated prompt is perfect. Now let's try two more updates. Remove the gradient option for the border so users can either enable the toggle or leave it disabled. If enabled, they can pick what color they would like the border to be. The shadow toggle didn't do much. Can you troubleshoot it? Let's see how far we get with these new updates for our Bolt app. All right, our code has been updated one more time. Let's give it another play. Let's pick a different gradient this time, and I'm going to paste my text. Let's make it bigger. Let's add drop shadow and border, and let's give our border a color. Now what I notice is even though I have picked a border color, that border color is not being applied. So these are some of the things or nuances that you have to keep in mind. Is sometimes when you try to fix one thing, the other thing is going to break. So you have to go back and reprompt and continue to iterate till you get it to a spot where it's working effortlessly. Now let's go and paste this in Canva. So I'm still not seeing the background shadow, which is fine. Let's just go and remove the shadow toggle and say, now the border toggle isn't working. Can you make that to work again and remove the shadow toggle? Okay, we are back. The border is working again and the color is also appearing. So now let's give it one more shot. This time I'll pick a different gradient and let's increase the size. We'll choose Instagram and copy to clipboard. I'm going to go ahead and paste this inside of Canva, make sure it works. One thing I want to try is copying the different dimensions and pasting it to see if that does anything. I don't think it's doing anything. Yep, it seems to be the exact same dimension no matter what I do. In that case, I just want to remove the dimensions option and have it be a 1080 by 1080 square. So my new command is remove the platform size option and default to 1080 pixel by 1080 pixel. Now again, Bolt's gonna go do its magic, come back, and then this should be at a spot where we can now release it to give it out to our friends, our family, whoever wants to test this out. So we're getting an error message here which says an unexpected status code was received. So we can retry. Okay, our updates should have gone into effect. So let's give it another shot. I'm going to paste the text again, but this time what I'm going to do is I want to try what happens if I go, okay, it doesn't let me go over 280 characters, which is awesome. So let's just stop here. And what happens if I go outside of the viewport zone? So this is a little bit of a problem, right? If I go outside of the viewport zone, the font size selector is getting stuck, but it's okay. It's our first time using this app. So some glitches are going to happen. So what we're going to do now is try copy pasting this. Perfect. I think we are ready to ship this iteration one to a bunch of users. Now, how do you do that? So the last step is to deploy this. Now, when you first start with bolt.new, you're going to need a GitHub account. Just YouTube it, how to open a GitHub account. It's free to open, and you'll use that account to start your bolt.new subscription, because Bolt is going to use your GitHub credentials to go create repositories and all this developer stuff that is not something I understand. But what I'm going to do is hit the deploy option. Bolt is going to try to deploy this in a manner that others can use it easily. So you will get a website. It's going to have some random words and letters and numbers. But this is again just for testing. When you're ready to deploy this to the world, then you will need to go to that step, which we'll cover in another video. So now Bolt has deployed this on Netlify, which is another free to use app. So what I'm going to do is go and click this link. Perfect. Now this is a website that anyone can use and create their images that they can copy and paste onto their favorite social media platform. So you'll see there's a link here which says, if you want to claim this app, click this link. So in order to do that, what I'm going to do is go to Netlify, make sure that I'm logged in. And when I'm logged in, I'm going to go and click copy this link. I could have also clicked on it and then just paste it in my browser. This allows Netlify to add this project to my Netlify dashboard from my Bolt dashboard. Now I can actually go in here. I can, anytime I make changes to this app, I can make those changes in Bolt and then deploy it again to Netlify. Or I can go and set up a custom domain and publish this on my own custom domain. For now, I'm not going to publish it to a custom domain. I'm going to use the domain that Netlify gave me. And there you have it, a fully functional app in less than an hour without using a single line of code. And there you have it, course heroes. That is how easy it was to create a piece of software that didn't exist up until the beginning of this video. How cool is that? Let me know in the description how you're using Bolt or how you would like to use Bolt, and also check out my paid AI community where we are going to be doing fun projects like this and a lot more. Thank you again for watching this. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button so you get notified next time I release a video. And until next time, keep creating.